I don't get it. Why do they not do that?
Where would they get it on though?
But Betfair, other firms. Obviously, but firms arb off of each other all the time. Like, it's just, Dog Track's the easiest example ever. If you have 1,000 at a dog at 3-1, you might get it on, especially Romford. You probably will get it on, and the guy might then have bet 600 back with the other 3 books at 3-1. He might call in 600 to 200 times 3. So it's only the same concept. There's obviously ways to get it back, especially independent bookmakers. They're the ones that I never understand that don't take big bets. If I owned an independent bookies and a guy walked in and wanted a big bet, I would then bet it back with every firm going. Betfair. There's loads of ways of getting on these days, and even the best punters are still taking some bad prices because they can't get on at the good prices.
So what else have we got, Dave, in the anti-post market?
I think the anti-post done. I'll go through the weekend's games. Kev was pretty strong on. Obviously, he said he fancied West Ham pretty strong anyway. He's quite strong on West Ham at evens. Against Cardiff, thinks that's a small bet. I think West Brom are a lay at 11-8. I think they might have got a bit bigger. I laid them at just over 11-8 on Betfair. 11-8 basically is the borderline price. When a team at home in the Premier League is 11-8, it means that both teams are assessed at being as equal. Okay? Yeah. Home advantage makes them 11-8 if 2 teams are equal. So basically, they're suggesting that West Brom and Southampton are equal. Well, I don't agree. I think Southampton are a better side. I'd bet them all day long, heads up in the Premier League this year. The spread firms agree with me. The fixed price firms agree with me. And they were basically 11-8, which to me just instantly has to be wrong. I don't even need to do too much research. West Brom, my team to oppose all year. I think they're a lay at 11-8 at home. Kev, like the goal, both teams to score in the United game at 8-11 VC, 4-6 everywhere else, and I think Tottenham are probably a better way at Palace. What do you think about that one?
First game 5-6. I want a little bit bigger.
Really?
I probably like. I just want even. I think they're probably about priced correctly, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I'd want a little bit more. Just for the first game, big crowd, local derby. Yeah, well, not local derby, but London derby.
This is why they're 5-6, for the reasons you said, which I think is all complete bollocks, like in terms of pricing stuff up. I honestly think they're too big. I think everyone's factored in the first game stuff too much. Bow hasn't even gone yet. I think he's still injured anyway, but I think Spurs have got a really good side. I think if this is 2-3 months in, I think you're looking at a solid 4-6 Tottenham here.
Yeah.
So it's 5-6. They're 17-20. They've drifted all week. To me, I'm against Palace all year. I think all that's going to happen is teams are going to get shorter in price against Palace as the year goes on. I really think they're that weak. I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm betting Tottenham there. That should tell you all you need to know if you ask me.
Yeah, maybe.
You think it's priced okay? Yeah.
I just don't think there's that much juice in the price. Obviously, we've just said before, like it's tough to price a game wrong these days, especially in the Premier League. So everyone bets the Premier League. It's just tough for firms to get it wrong. And
yeah, it's definitely tough for them to get it wrong. But if they're ever going to get it wrong, first game of the season is more likely. It's harder to price Palace up now than it will be in 2 months' time. Put it that way.
The games I like to take advantage of when I think they do get it wrong and there's too much emphasis on stuff is when teams are playing for nothing at the end of the season.
Maybe, but then you've said stuff like, first game of the year, they're all up for it, a load of crowds shouting. Surely that, if you're factoring that into the price, I just can't have factors like that. That, to me, if you watch the film Moneyball, that's the sort of stuff that, he's got an ugly arm, or he's got, he hasn't got a very good-looking girlfriend, sort of factors that people take into consideration they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. But how much can that actually be factored into that price? Not that much juice, but you get. Remember when Newcastle played Villa away when Newcastle needed to win to stay up, and Villa were playing just for nothing, just for pride and whatever. Maybe they could get one more place up the league, and Villa were fucking 9-2 that day, and Newcastle was something like 4-7.
All right, go on. Basically, Tottenham are favourites over Liverpool in a season match bet. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be dubious on that bet.
Right, okay. Liverpool, I'm telling you the prices. Liverpool are 9-4 to finish top 4. Tottenham are 15-8, okay?
Right.
What price are Liverpool when they play away at Palace in the league this year? Tell me that one now. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say it on air. If Liverpool are bigger than 5-6, which they should be, because Tottenham are 5-6 now, and Liverpool are priced worse than Tottenham, so therefore Tottenham are supposed to be better. So Liverpool should be bigger than 5-6. And Liverpool bigger than 5-6, I'll put the bet on for you. Okay? I'm telling you now, on air. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think is priced.
No, but you're banking on Palace having a god-awful start to the season.
I'm banking on the prices readjusting and Liverpool basically. I
Every
think Tottenham are better than Liverpool. And I think Liverpool will be a solid 4 or 6 shot away at Palace. So I don't
you think teams like Everton are going to be odds on at Palace?
When do they play Palace? That's the key.
I'm not
I,
sure. I'm not looked at the fixture. I don't know when they play them. I'm just saying. Do you think
well,
teams are going to be odds? A lot of teams are going to be odds on against Palace, and the rest
I,
6 to 4 max.
I think Everton will be very, very, very close to even money against Palace. Everton, by the way, Everton are 5-6 away at Cardiff with William Hill. I know it's obviously a terrible price. They're 5-4 with other firms, but that gives you an example for their pricing up. Everton away at Cardiff or Tottenham away at Palace. I'm not saying that the 5-6 is right there. I'm just giving you an example of a 5-6 shot. I mean, obviously Hills are taking a piss with their 5-6 quote there. But yeah, I think a lot of sides are going to be odds on it. I mean, obviously, when I say a lot of sides, obviously all the top boys, but I think even down towards middling size, I think are going to be no bigger than 5-4, 11-8 away at Palace. I think it's just going to be a whipping, boys.
November 9th, Palace play Everton.
November the 9th. Right, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to shout it now. I think Everton will be at even money with the firms, maybe 2.06 on Betfair, and no bigger. And I think Tottenham are way better than Everton. That's the thing. I think the gap between Tottenham and Everton is pretty big.
What about the handicap market, Dave? You said you got some stuff on that.
Yeah, a couple of guys put them up on Blonde this week, and I like them. The promoted sides, obviously not Palace, given we've been slagging them off for the last 20 minutes. I quite like the promoted. I think we may have missed the price, especially to put them up. They've been taken off the boards all week, really. I liked. Where was the Cardiff one? Cardiff plus 47 with VC. Looks pretty big. Normally mid-90s is good enough to win. So Cardiff get 45 points. You've got 92. Basically, as long as Cardiff don't get relegated, you probably get an each way return at a quarter of the odds. And Hull were plus 49. Same thing, VC, but they're 25-1 with VC, whereas Cardiff's 12. Hull 49 points, 25-1. So you're getting 6 and a bit to 1 a place. You need Hull probably to get 43, 44 points to get a place there, which I don't think is out of possibility at all. And it definitely ain't a 6-1 shot for them to place. So I'm quite strong on them. What do you like anything there?
It's not a market I've ever been interested in. To be fair, it's obviously, basically nothing in that market really interests me. Like,
No, I read a stat the other day. Basically, long term, you're printing money. Well, you have been. I mean, I'm assuming they should price it slightly different, but they don't appear to have. You're printing money, basically betting the promoted sides each way in the handicap market in the Premiership. There's been, I can't remember the exact stat, but basically it was like a plus 27% ROI betting them each way since the Premiership began. I'm pretty sure that was what I read. And that makes sense to me, because if you've got a side getting 49, 50 point start, to get to mid-90s, they need to have a really good season. But it's a lot easier for them to do that than for a side like Arsenal, got +8 with some firms. For them to get 95 points, they've got to get 87 points. Like, they basically need to win the Premiership.
Yeah.
They don't need to win the Premiership to win the bet. And you get an 8-1, whereas they're bigger to win the Premiership. And you still might not win the bet. That's the thing. Because Newcastle had a great season a couple of years ago and scored in the hundreds on the handicap.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at other markets now. You look to the PFA Player of the Year markets. Any of those?
Not really. What? Who are you liking that?
No, I'm just asking if you've looked at it. I've just flicked through it.
I had a brief look recently, because obviously it matters if Bale stays or goes is pretty big in that market. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously huge.
Yeah, it's massive. You're taking away the most likely winner probably. Well,
What about the Golden Glove? Sky Better doing the
yeah,
Golden Glove.
saw the Golden Glove. I've got the Player of the Year market. I think was it Bale's 8-1, 5-2 in places, 8-1 in places. Yeah, with our good friend VC. I think 8-1 would be pretty big if he stayed all year. I don't think I could bet Suarez at 12's missing the first game of the season. That'd be a swerve for me. There's a few Chelsea boys thrown in there. I think it looks a really hard market, to be honest. I think maybe you could take a punt on a couple of big prices, but I think I'd leave that market. Who you like at the Golden Glove?
Well, I think it's just a flip between Cech and Joe Hart. To be honest.
What are the prices?
15-8, 2-1. Like,
if you think it's a
make
flip,
Hart favourite.
Yeah, well, if you think it's a flip, then obviously it's with Sky Bet though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I've been chasing around trying to get Sky Bet accounts for a while, but it's just tough to get laid. Obviously, you can understand them. They're just they're a small betting company, like relatively new operation. They're more like a novelty firm rather than.
Well, I can't understand it. They're worth millions, yeah.
Yeah, they're worth millions.
What can you understand about that then?
Well, they offer a lot of novelty markets, and it's more for small punters. They've got no history of being big bookmaker. I can understand them operating how they do and not wanting to take decent bets and being probably the worst site to restrict you in my history.
That's fine if they change their name to like MickeyMouseBet.com or something. You can't call it Sky Bet and then not lay a bet, can you?
Well, they're doing a good job of it at the moment.
Well, it's like Richard Branson opened a website called VirginGambling.com and laying like 50s. Laying like, all he lays an even 50. He wouldn't put his name on it. So why should Sky put the name on a product that doesn't lay a bet?
Yeah, I guess they actually own OddsChecker. I don't know if you know that.
Do they really?
Yeah, they own OddsChecker, yeah. It's their firm.
No, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So
there's one bet in the championship that I really like on Saturday. I like Huddersfield away at Millwall at 13-5. Millwall been drifting all day. I mean, Millwall first game lost against Yeovil at home, 1-0, and they got absolutely hammered by Ipswich last week, 3-0. The score didn't flatter Ipswich at all. They were all over them. I think they have 59-60% of possession. They just absolutely battered them, and apparently a lot of Millwall fans said it could have been more, and they were embarrassing. Lomas has not got on well there. The fans are getting on his back now, killing him an old West Ham boy and stuff. The Millwall boys are like.
Yeah.
And Huddersfield started off, matched Forest for loads of the game, lost 1-0 away at Forest, which is going to be, I think this season's going to prove no mean feat. Like, even losing 1-0 at Forest, I think they'll be really strong. And then they drew at home against QPR 1-1 last week. And I just think Millwall are a sinking ship. They lost Wood a few years ago. They lost Henderson to Forest. I just think they're a bad side. And Huddersfield at 13-5, after Yeovil went there and won on the first game of the season, I think there's a lot of mileage in that price. I think there should be more like a 2-1 shot than 13-5.
Does Brent like that one?
I've not spoke to Brent about it actually.
I think he was quite keen on Huddersfield pre-season with their points. He was against Millwall, so I'm guessing he would like that.
Yeah, he'd probably like that. I mean,
yeah,
I like to bet. I like these kind of bets. I mean, draw no bet, maybe at 6-4 if you want, but I think they're a better side and comprehensively better side than Millwall. I think Millwall are going to struggle big time this season. So 13-5, that's the only bet, probably the only single I'll be having this week. So that's about it for Championship for me.
Funnily enough, the spread firms, SpreadX, the only ones that do long-term betting on the points for Championship stuff. They've got both teams spreading at 53, 55, and Huddersfield already have 1 point advantage. So they're suggesting there's not much between the two teams at all, which means that you probably have got a little bit of value there anyway. Just basing it purely on what the spread's pricing it up as.
Yeah.
And if you've got an opinion, then
Yeah, they've not scored yet, Millwall. I mean, and Lomas is going to be panicking, and the fans are unforgiving down there. I think if they start off a bit shaky on Saturday, I think they could get beat 2-3-0 possibly. I'm gonna get involved in that game and do a lot of things on like Huddersfield supremacy and stuff, and maybe half time, full time, and some like daft scores. I just really fancy him the price. I think that obviously I think they're more like a 2-1, like even 15-8 shot. I think and they're obviously 13-5, just over 5-2. I just think it's a really good bet. Have you got anything else, Dave, on the football?
Not particularly. Little Dave, did you notice that I didn't say a bad word about Millwall?
You didn't say a bad word about Millwall.
No.
But then coming from Mumford, that's probably not a bad shout.
Yeah, I want to make sure the listeners are aware I didn't say a bad word about Millwall or the area or the fans. So there you go.
So everyone picking up bricks heading to the Shallow residence, you can put them back down. For Millwall fans here.
I'll be avoiding trips to Hull and Wales for the next few months.
Right, Trig, go on. Pick us out a goals galore bet for Saturday then.
Well, obviously I'd put Kev's in. The ones I do though are usually, obviously most people who do it, it's like a mug bet. I know Kev Allen likes to do like 3 or 4. I like to do 5. He sometimes just does 2, but there's no fun in that. It's just like betting singles. I like just to have like 40 quid or something and just have like 6, and like sweat it in. That's usually though if I've got nothing else that I really fancy on a Saturday.
Rich, do the. You have to do the phrase though. When both teams score.
Yeah, it's goals galore. Betfred did another one last year, but I'm not sure if they still do it now. It was both teams any goal in the first 30 minutes. So any goal in a game, and I used to like that bet, but it was almost impossible to get 5 or 6 up. It sounds.
I had a great goals galore come in once about it was like some for the last stage of last season. Me and Jake did a 17 goals galore, and with about 65 minutes gone, this bet cannot win. Like it is drawing stone dead. And then we're watching Sky Sports News, and suddenly, like one of them pings in, doesn't make a difference, we're still dead. Then another one comes in, then another one, then another one. And now it's like we've got an outside chance. And then there's about 4 minutes left of the games, and we've got one team we need to score. And I think it was St Johnson away at Hibernian or somewhere like that.
That
And they
classic.
were away. They were 3-0 down away from home, and in literally the last kick of the game, we pinged a 3-1 in. And nailed the bet.
What?
I bet we were $1,000 on, like to lose.
Who was you betting with, Dave?
Betfred.
No. You said you was with someone.
Oh, with Jake Cody.
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. That explains the bet winning in the last second anyway.
So maybe not 1,000 to 1, maybe like 70s, but still a great kick.
If you're sitting next to Richard Trigg with that bet, you're 1,000 to 1 in running. When you're sitting next to Jake Cody, you know you don't want to be laying too big a price. I promise you. You've always got a chance.
Yeah. So goals galore this week. I'd go for 4 games. I'd go QPR versus Ipswich. I'd go Swansea Man U, Reading versus Watford, and I'd probably go Arsenal and Villa. I think Villa could sneak one at the Emirates.
What about put up a treble? Come on, for the listeners, put up a treble, a win treble in the Premiership, and a win goals galore treble in the Premiership. So you got the Arsenal game, the Man U game, one more in the Premiership, and then a win treble.
One more in the Premiership.
Yeah, come on,
oh God! All right, so I've got Swansea, Man U, Arsenal, Villa, and I'd probably go Palace and Spurs.
All right, Palace Spurs. All right,
Spurs
okay,
as
and
well.
put up a win. I want a win treble for the viewers. A win.
A win treble.
Yep.
Ah.
You don't, doesn't have to be bankers. You can put a decent price one in there. Just pick your 3 best win bets out in the Premiership. We'll put them in a win treble.
All right. Well, I'd go. I don't like betting. I'll never bet these. I'd never have the bet on this because they're just not my kind of bets. Like, but I'd have to put Arsenal in 4-9.
Hang on, no. Put your types of bets in. You must have 3 bets you can fancy there.
The
We don't-
Premiership's looked so tough to me this weekend. It's just,
All right, forget that.
Dave, you go.
Put Newcastle in at 10 to 1. Come on, Trig, for the fans.
No. I mean, I'd go Chelsea half time, full time at 4-6. That's available in a couple of places. I'd put that in as one. I'd go Arsenal 4-9 if you can get that, and I'd go Norwich draw against Everton first game of the season.
Right, I'll do my win treble. My win treble is 10.5 to 1 shot. It's West Ham at evens, Southampton at 9 to 4, and the other one was Tottenham 5-6. There's my win treble for you. 10.5 to 1 it pays. Get on, get paid. What do you
There we
reckon?
go. Right, I think that pretty much wraps football up then. Now that we've made everyone a few quid.
Well, hopefully, mate.
Trig, horse racing. So
Yeah.
you got some stuff?
Yeah, tomorrow sees a race the annual race of something that you'll probably be a fan of, Dave. It's an all grey handicap, so every horse in the field's grey.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Stay well away from this.
It's a handicap for grey horses only.
You know my feeling on grey horses. Never back the grey ones.
Well, one of them's got to win though, Dave.
Yeah, one of them's got to win, and the winner of last year's race is running again today. Tomorrow. Sorry. It's in the sort of races. It's on Channel 4, 2:20 at Newmarket. Medici Time, it's called. Tim Easterby trains it. Robert Winston's on board. It won the same race off £3 lower last time, and it's almost got the ideal, the same makeup as it did last time. It ran a shocking race the time before last year before it won the race. lost almost the same distance, the same track. Ran at York over 6 furlongs last year. The race before this, lost by 11 lengths, 15 and 19. Ran at York last time, 15 of 20, lost by 10 lengths. And it's been winning off. It's won off 84 before, and it's the marks tomorrow 75. It's won over course and distance. It's won the race last year. This horse at peak, even though it's only won three times over trip, and 5 times over 5 furlongs. It's 6 furlongs tomorrow. The prices aren't up yet, but I think it's probably going to be about 12, 14 to 1. I think that's got a great chance each way tomorrow. Trainer's in decent form. He's had a few winners recently, and I think you just can't really go wrong with it. Obviously, last year the horse won at the meeting, and it seemed like they lined it up last year, and it looks like they've been trying to get his mark down for the last few runs. So it's a winnable mark again.
Give it a good shout there. It made me interested actually. What? Give me the time and the name, please, Richard.
Yeah, 2:20 tomorrow at Newmarket.
Yep.
Medici time.
Lovely.
I'd probably do a little saver. Obviously, it's like 15 runner handicap, so there's not much mileage going each way. You're only looking at 3 places, obviously. But Gabriel's Gift as well. I'd probably stick that in as a saver. Simcox.
Okay.
3-year-olds in this race have got. They're probably going to put Majesty in pretty short. Hannon's is a 3-year-old, only had 3 runs. Won last time, but it's dropping back in trip. And 3-year-olds have got a dreadful record in this race. It usually goes to a 6, 7, 8-year-olds have been dominating the older horses. So, like the old hardened handicappers. So I'd probably discount the 3-year-olds just on the history of the race. So probably I'd bet Medici time, and probably in these 15 runner handicaps, instead of backing 1 each way, I'd probably just prefer to back 2 for the win. I don't like to back 15 runner each way races, each way in 15 runner races. So
yeah, I like the theory. That's good. I think you've given them both good shouts there. I like that.
And in the big race tomorrow is the Hungerford Stakes, and I probably last year Clive Cox Lethal Force sprung an upset, and like Celebrations won it in the past. Paco Boys run it in the past. This race is really weird because every horse in it needs cut. They need cut in the ground. This is Newbury in the 3:15. So you're taking a chance on everything. Gregorian, I know for a fact that needs cut. That cannot run top of the ground, and it's still forecasted good to firm, and it doesn't look like the weather forecast is going to change much. So you've got Soft Falling Rain, Mike de Cox. It's won every one of its starts abroad, and it's won last 3 at Meydan. Won a group 2 last time worth 368,000. Like the money out there is crazy. Hannigan's been over there to ride it earlier this year. Like this has been untried on good to firm. Casper Nectar, Simcox. Like it's won on good, soft, good to soft. Won on good to firm on its debut. At Beverley, so that's the only one with like a little bit of. But it's been quoted as saying that needs cut in the ground. So then it's only a 500 race. Gregorian needs cut, obviously. Librano looks a bit outclassed, and it's only won once on good to firm from umpteen attempts. So I'd probably take a chance on the Godolphin one at the bottom, Tarwood, 9-2 shot. The only 3-year-old in the race. 3-year-olds have got a pretty good record in this race actually, as opposed to the last race. 3-year-olds do really well in this race. So it's getting a few pounds for its age allowance. 9-2. It looks really progressive. Finished second behind a Hannon Good Thing last time, Montridge. That's going to be a really good horse, and that was clear of its stable companion Snowboarder in second, Tarwood. He's stepping up in class today, no doubt, from a Group 3 last time to this race. But I just think at 9-2 that's where there's probably a little bit of value. So I'm probably not going to bet the race, but if I did, I'd probably go Tarwood a little bit. There's just nothing really inspiring on the horses coming up, apart from the Ebor meeting, which is next week at York. Tomorrow's just the Hungerford Stakes is the highlight. It's not a big racing day tomorrow, really, but yeah, if I had to have 2 bets, it'd be Mick Easterby's Medici time in the Grays only handicap, and in the Hungerford Stakes, I'd probably go Tarwood just a little bit at 9-2. I think a little bit of value there.
All right, like it, Rich. What anything you fancy particularly this week, Dave? Forget horse race. I know you don't like the racing or the grey horses, but anything you fancy in sport this week?
Not really. I've been on holiday, so I've been trying to take a bit of a break
It's tough,
from gambling.
right? Tough at the top.
But I'll be getting on Trig's horse suggestions, as hopefully I'll get out of following Trig into horse races eventually.
Yeah, hopefully. Tell us about the bet you had, Dave, the other day, you guys.
Oh, we had a 4-man flip. Lou's had to get his head shaved.
Oh.
Yeah, so these guys have all flipped a coin. Did you flip a coin or did you do rock paper scissors?
Now we did coins like
Old school. They did coins.
like real men.
Not spoof old school.
That's how our forefathers would have gambled.
Not spoof old school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
my friends have stopped playing spoof with me because I'm not even
There's
that.
too much skill. There's too much
Yeah,
skill.
that's what I mean. These guys can't fathom out how I used to win at spoof. It's like they were playing it so wrong. I'm no spoof wizard, but they've stopped playing it now. They just like the pure chance games. They've even stopped playing rock paper scissors with me because they think I've got an edge in that. So
I saw the greatest piece of rock paper scissors in history recently. I was at a wedding and we were doing rock paper scissors for who had to down gin and tonics, and an upstanding member of the poker community, who I will not name to protect his reputation, lost to this woman who was absolutely hammered. They were doing best of 3 and she beat him twice and she threw 6 straight rocks.
oh my God! Listen,
Never seen anything like it.
Hey, I've got the same story. Don't worry. We were in Goa about 6 years ago. There was a bill, and there was 8 of us. So we done like quarter-final, semi-final, final, rock paper scissors. You play, you're sitting opposite. Willie Tan. Willie Tan didn't seem to know how to play the game. All he'd done was threw rock every time. Now Robin Keston got heads up against Willie Tan in the final. I don't think Robin had clocked that Willie had thrown like 12 straight rocks. And yet they managed to, it was the first of 3 in the final that lost. First of 3 obviously won, and then the loser paid. But it managed to get 2-2 with Willie throwing 4 more straight rocks. And Robin still hadn't clocked. And obviously Robin luckily had gone paper on the last one to clinch victory and make Willie pay. But
You'd think in a best of 5 match, he at least chanced 1 paper, wouldn't he?
yeah, Willie, I don't think he knew how to this day, I don't think he understands the rules. He just kept putting his fist forward. Obviously, if Willie was in the flip anyway, it means that he must have been doing all right. So you can't feel too sorry for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
rock paper scissors always reminds me of the chase the lady game. You know, I got absolutely turned over when I was about 15. We were in Benidorm on the lads' holiday, first lads' holiday ever. My mate's parents were there, but they were like in a different floor of the hotel. It felt like we were all on four lads on our own. And I went down to the beach one day with the lads, and I just scooted off myself. So I'd wander around, and I saw a crowd developing on a corner, and it was where they had little egg cups, 3 egg cups, obviously, and then there's a little pea inside one of them, and they're switching them around, and obviously the coup is they get some woman to pick them out every time, and she's right, and then you give some money. It's like even money, so you give them like €100, or back then I probably had 20 quid, 30 quid on it, and it might have even been pesetas back then. I'm not sure. And yeah, obviously she picks out the one that's wrong, obviously, and they get your money. And then after about 10 minutes, I've done like another 100. I'm like, hold on, am I getting conned? Obviously, wet behind the ears, like the oldest queue in the book.
Fuck it, that is wet behind the ears.
Yeah, I was 15. The same holiday, I managed to get one of those little buggies that had a pedal and a brake. I had 3 wheels, and I managed to take that near Valencia by accident. Because
That's a good effort.
I got lost on the wrong way system. My mate's dad had to lend me 500 quid to get me ready, so to get me like safe for the trip.
Nice. Well, one thing we forgot to mention, by the way, completely coming off track there. We put some golf bets up on the Twitter account this week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one of them is now favourite in running. Just birdied the first hole today. Zach Johnson, 7-1 favourite in running. I think we put him up at 14s each way. We put Webb Simpson up at 14s each way. Had a bad round yesterday. He actually missed 5 birdie putts from inside 12 feet, which is pretty terrible for a professional golfer. So his chances are looking less likely than Zach's. But we've got a decent runner there in Zach. And we'll in future we'll be putting bets up on the Twitter account, won't we? Little Dave, you're in charge of that.
Yeah.
What,
So keep looking. It's at Ready Steady Bet.
Perfect. And basically, if we only put the podcast up on a Friday and possibly Mondays, there's a lot of bets during the week that we're not able to put up, so we put them up on Twitter. So obviously everyone follow it and they can listen in. Anything else to wrap up, little Dave?
No, I think that's everything.
Yeah, we're going to be getting a few guests on in future. Probably starting after the next episode, we're going to get people who are experts in their field of sports betting.
We'll get round to the best gambling coup stories on the next one as well, because this has been really good bets rather than more stories and stuff. We'll get some of the good gambling stories because they always cheer you up on a miserable day.
Yeah.
Especially ours, because they usually end in
Disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Some form of calamity.
We'll have some good ones and some losing ones. You have to have some good ones and some losing ones, not just all losers, because everyone remembers the losers. But
Yeah, we've got
If they didn't give us a good one every so often, then we might end up quitting one of these days.
Yeah, so let's just go through. Let's go through the bets again.
So basically, we've got Van Persie each way 4-1, top Premiership goal scorer. Each way bets nothing. Palace 57% interest with Corals, best bank in the world to get relegated. Palace to finish bottom 12-5, decent bet. Then we fancy
Chelsea for the first 3 games, top scorer 130, save on Arsenal. 92, if you can get on.
We fancy small bet on West Ham at evens. We fancy Lane West Brom at over 11-8, or possibly betting Southampton at 9-4 if you want to go that route. You like
Huddersfield away. I like Huddersfield away at Millwall.
Huddersfield away at Millwall.
13-5.
A variety of ways you can support them. You can either lay Millwall or you can be with Huddersfield. You put up Huddersfield to win, so we'll stick with that. Kev fancies goals galore in the United game, the Swansea Man U game at 8-11 with VC 4-6 elsewhere. What else did we put up?
I fancy Villa to sneak 1 goal at Arsenal. I think that'd be a goals galore.
So you fancy a goals galore at Arsenal? What price was the goals galore at Arsenal? Did you check?
I'm not checked. I assume it might be close to evens. I guess maybe.
I'll look now.
6-5. I guess.
It's not a market I'd looked at, to be honest, in the Arsenal game. Both teams to score. Here we go. What else did we put up? What's the racing you put up?
Oh, the racing, yeah. Medici time in the 220 Grays only handicap. As long as it's like 10-1 plus. I wouldn't be betting it if it was 6s or 7s. And save on Gabriel's gift around the same price. They've not priced up yet, so I'm just estimating the price. It should be 10-12s, both of them, I guess. Maybe Gabriel's gift might be a little bit shorter, but. And then probably a little bit on in the where is it now? In the Hungerford Stakes, I'd go Wardy, the bottom one, a little bit on that at 9-2. They're the only 2 bets that I think are decent value. Well, will be decent value, should I say?
Coral 10-11, Rich.
Yeah, 10-11.
Arsenal, both teams to score.
Yeah, that sounds okay. Okay, obviously there's not that much mileage in the price. I just think Villa will sneak one at Arsenal. Arsenal did tend to concede against a lot of the unfancied teams last year at home.
Big game in our household. That tomorrow I'm round.